I've got an example for us to look at here where we're finding the greatest common factor of two monomials. And this one is a little different from the ones we looked at before because there's coefficients out in front, right? That negative 12 and the 14. So to do this, I'm essentially going to follow the same sequence of steps. I'm just going to add, what I have is I've slipped it in as a step 0 here. We're going to just start off by finding the greatest common factor of those coefficients. In this case, that's the negative 12 and the 14. Now, when I do this, you notice that I kind of politely ignored the minus sign and did plus 12 instead of minus 12. Technically, there's no way to order polynomials to say one is bigger than the other. So I could just as well have put negative 2 there. But as a practical matter, when we're doing these things, we're finding the greatest common factors of monomials. If we have a choice, we're going to go with a positive coefficient instead of a negative one. You'll see when we start talking a little bit later here about factoring, it's generally just that little bit easier if it's a positive thing we're trying to factor out than a negative one. Right? So I'm going to go with positive 2 here for this step 0. Now we're just going to follow the same sequence that we have before. We don't really need to do the prime factorization when we're talking about monomials. It really is kind of already factored. Right? If you look at the two monomials, the factors of the first one are a, b, c, and d, and the factors of the second one are b, c, and d. So I'm going to list the common ones. Those are the factors that they both have in common. That would be the b, the c, and the d. All right, then I'm going to give each one of those their smallest exponent from the original expression. The smallest exponent on the b's is a 2. The c's, neither of them have a written exponent. It's going to be 1 for both of them. And the smallest exponent on the d's, that's choosing between 5 and 6, so it's going to be the 5. Now to get the final answer, all I'm going to do is what we did before. I'm going to multiply the 3 parts that we came up with in step 3, and I'm going to multiply that by that greatest common factor of the coefficients. So my final answer here is going to be 2b squared times c times d to the 5th. So if you'd like to see the full context, the first link below will take you back to the lecture on finding greatest common factors, where I compare it directly to the process for finding the greatest common factor of two numbers. The other link will take you to another bigger example where we'll go over how to find the greatest common factor of 3 monomials. And finally, if you like this video, please don't forget to click on the like button down below.